Let me say this up front. This isn't a video about how you should be using AI more. That gets old fast. Say one thing about agentic AI and suddenly you're standing next to someone selling a $2,000 course on prompt engineering. That's not where I'm coming from. I've been building real projects with agentic AI for months. I happen to use Claude Code, but there's also Codex, Gemini, Grok, the whole cast. Some projects work, some imploded in interesting ways. And the thing nobody talks about, the thing that actually matters, isn't which model you pick or how clever your prompt is. It's whether you have a way of working that keeps the agent on rails when it wants to wander into the woods. Most people don't. They open the terminal, they type what they want, and 40 files later, they're out of context with half a feature and no idea what just happened. That's not an AI problem, that's a workflow problem, and the fix is simpler than the internet wants you to believe. Let me show you what I mean. A few months back, I wanted to do something stupidly simple. Pull my X bookmarks into a system that I actually controlled, scrape them, store them, and file them. 3 things. Should have been a weekend. It wasn't a weekend. But before I get into why, quick honest question. How many bookmarks are sitting in your X account right now that you swore you would come back to? 100, 500, or more? And when was the last time you actually went back and read one of them? Yeah, I had over 10,000. Things I told myself I'd read later, watch later, do something about later. And the honest answer was never. Almost never. It's a graveyard of good intentions. If that hits a little too close to home, do me a favor and hit the like button right now. We both know you're not going back to that bookmark from 2023. Least you could do is acknowledge it with a thumb tap. So I decided to fix it, not with willpower, with a system. Build something that would force me to actually use the ideas I kept saving. 3 parts in my head. 1, get the bookmarks out of X. 2, store them somewhere I controlled. And 3, file them so I could find what I needed. Simple on paper. Phase 1, scraping, was supposed to be the easy part. It took more than a day, not because the scraping itself was hard, because every time I solved one layer, X handed me another. Authentication, or what's called auth, was the first wall. Just getting the agent permission to read my own bookmarks took longer than I expected. Once auth worked, X started rate limiting. So we built in a self-rate limiting, slow it down enough that the platform stopped slapping us around. Then we had the bookmarks, but just the text. And here's where the agent told me something I didn't expect. I was reviewing the first batch of scrape posts and the agent flagged it. It said most of the posts didn't have useful content. Sit with that for a second. I just spent a day pulling thousands of bookmarks and the agent was telling me half of them were useless because the actual idea wasn't in the post text, it was in the image or the linked article or the YouTube video the post was pointing to. The post text was just must read or this is wild. The signal was somewhere else. So we kept going, scrape the images, run them through Vision, scrape the linked websites, pull YouTube transcripts. Now the bookmarks weren't bookmarks anymore. They were full context. Everything the original poster wanted me to see, captured in the form an LLM could actually reason about. That's the first lesson of working with agentic AI, and I want you to hear me on this one. When you don't know what you're missing, the agent often does. The trick is not to know everything before you start. That's where we are when we're in overwhelm, when we refuse to start something. We think we need to know everything and have clarity on everything. The trick is to stay curious enough to ask the next question when the agent tells you something's off, or you sense something is off based off of what the agent tells you. Phase 2 and 3, storing and filing, took a couple of weeks on and off between other work. Storing was the easy lift. It's a real database, schema for posts, images, transcripts, links, nothing super fancy. I ended up using PostgreSQL. Filing was harder, and that's because filing means deciding what these things actually are. I landed on 3 big buckets: AI and large language models, bookmarks that were Tesla related, and general investing. There's a long tail of smaller categories, not because 3 was a perfect number, because 3 was the ones I actually cared about. The categorization wasn't about elegance. It was about asking the system to show me everything I saved about Tesla in the last 6 months, and then I could get a real answer. Along the way, I deleted about 2,000 bookmarks that were dead links, duplicates, or things that looked interesting in 2022 and made no sense now. 10,000 became roughly 8. The graveyard got smaller before it got useful. A lot of those weeks didn't feel productive in the way most people define productive. A lot of it was talking it through with the agent, asking questions before writing code, letting the agent ask me questions when I didn't know what I wanted yet. But think about it. If I didn't prune down all the data that I had gathered, then I'd be going through a lot of data that wasn't really useful anymore. And that would get pretty repetitious and boring. So this brings me to the second lesson, and this one's the one that costs people the most when they miss it. When you don't know where to begin, you don't have to begin. You can talk first. You can let the tool ask you what you actually want until both of you know. And maybe if you don't know what you want, you can talk to it and have it ask you questions. And then your answers reveal some of that. Most people skip that. They want to feel productive, so they dive in, build something. They don't like it. They build something else. The context fills up with garbage, and many files later, they're stuck. The slow conversation at start saves you the fast disaster at the end. So, quick question for the comments before I keep going. Where are you at on the bookmark spectrum? Are yours collecting dust like mine were? Or do you have a system, even if it was just folders? Or are you the rare person who closes the loop on every save? Drop it in the comments. I read them. I'm generally curious how people handle this because everyone I ask has a different answer and most of them feel a little guilty about it. So by the end of the second phase, I had a system. Bookmarks scraped, stored, and filed. I shared with it about the projects and how to figure out the categories. I could feed each one to an LLM with an API call in order to do the categorization work. I would do some human review and feedback and tweaking to get it to work. I'd gotten so deep into building the filing cabinet that I forgot the point of the filing cabinet wasn't to file things. It was to find the right thing to act on. That's the most embarrassing line in this entire video, and that's the one I want you to remember. I built an entire system to organize good intentions, and the system itself had become a good intention. So I built one more piece, the way to ask the system what I should actually do something about. Most relevant to what I was working on right now, most actionable, pulled from everything I'd ever saved. And that piece, the one I almost forgot, is the only piece that mattered. The first time I used it, it surfaced a bookmark I'd saved months earlier about a better way to handle context handoffs between AI coding sessions. Most people running Claude Code know the pain. You hit context limits, you compact, and the compact does a bad job. It's a /compact command. And basically what it does, it's supposed to create a file or a handoff to the next session, fidelity in the process. The idea I bookmark had a smarter approach. Capture rich state or rich context about what you're working on, write a handoff file, hand that file to the next session so nothing important gets lost. So I built it. I called it /handoff. I use it almost every day now. Wasn't my idea. I had bookmarked it, so other people are using something similar. And it's a part of the open source workflow that I'm sharing. That bookmark was sitting in my X account doing nothing for months. Without the system, I would have never found it. And without the system, handoff does not exist. So that's the proof. That's why this matters. But here's where the story gets uncomfortable and where I have to be honest about who I am. I'm an entrepreneur, more of a visionary than an executor. I build things until they're usable and mostly done. and then I get bored and move on. That's a feature in the early stage. It's a bug at scale. So when I built the system to surface what I should act on, you can probably guess what happened next. I needed reminders to actually use the system to surface what I should act on. The bookmark graveyard problem is a fractal. It doesn't stop at the bookmarks. It moves up the stack. You build the tool, then the tool needs a tool. Then that tool needs a tool. The visionary keeps building and nothing gets used. The fix isn't more discipline. The fix is more delegation. To people when you have them, to systems when you don't. So I built one more layer. Every plan now ends with a prompt. Do you want to automate this? Do you want a reminder? Do you want to trigger that fires when the right conditions show up? Or do you want to take some action right now? That's called dog fooding. That prompt is the difference between a visionary who ships and a visionary who has 30 unfinished projects in a folder. If you're a visionary watching this, and I suspect a lot of you are, that's the line I want you to hold on to. You don't need to become a different person. You need to build the systems that close the loop on the person you already are. So that's the video. This isn't a flex. The work was slow. I forgot my own goal halfway through, and I had to build a tool to make myself use the tool I just built. That's the actual experience of building real things with Agentic AI right now. And nobody's showing it that way because Messi doesn't sell courses. But if you're sitting on the sidelines because every other video makes it look like everyone else figured it out in a weekend, I want you to know this. They did not figure it out in a weekend. The people getting real value out of these tools aren't faster than you. They just have a way of working that keeps the agent on rails and lets them stay curious when things get weird. That's what this series is: honest, mid-build, real project conversations about how to work with Agentic AI without burning yourself out, burning your context, or building 40 things and using none of them. If that's what you're looking for, hit subscribe. This is video 1. We've got a lot to cover. The plan-based workflow that runs all of this, the way I use question loops to get unstuck, the open source repo where I'm putting the whole thing, that's called ClearStep. You can find it at rebellionaire.com/ClearStep. Next time, I'll show you the workflow itself, how a plan file actually works, why showing it to the agent on purpose instead of hiding it is the single biggest unlock most people miss. I'm Bradford Ferguson. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.